Um, just like what Dan was saying with doing it, the rings. I got a whole bunch of those Spectraply blocks from Ruth Niles a couple of years ago, and they're all 2x2, and half an inch or so thick. I would glue one. I would use double stick tape, put it on a faceplate, a wooden faceplate, and a panel faceplate. And then I use my small carbide tool, just a regular sharp cornered carbide tool, and I'd slide in there and take the inside out to be the right size. And I have one of those ring gauges, so you know when the size gets right. And sand it out, finish it up, then take it off and put it on a mandrel. Mandrel is a piece of wood. It's like the dowel that Dan had just now. I just put it on and taper it, slight taper. I can slip it up on and finish it up. I tell you what, that is such an easy program to do. And the stuff that comes out, you'll never have a problem giving it away. Or if you're going to a trade show, selling it. But the trade shows are difficult because of sizes. I mean, there's not a lot of room right here for wide ones. I've bought some wide rings because I thought I'd like them, and it just didn't work out.
I got a question for Daniel.
Every time I get involved with rings, I get in trouble.
I've got a ring here just set up. I'm going to turn it tomorrow, but I've got it mounted with tape, and I'll try and get it where you can see it.
Yeah,
We got it now.
And that's just mounted with tape. I've just got to drill it with a 3/4 inch Forstner bit, and then round it out. But I use this to set up on there.
We lost you. Now you back.
there you go.
To even the pressure out on it.
That's just a little waste block of wood.
Yeah.
Like your size
Okay.
gauge, kind of like?
Huh?
Is that like your size gauge type thing?
Yeah, it's just something to put
pressure.
pressure on it.
Okay.
Similar to what I
And-
used to do with the thing we call the soft.
I can kind of show you what that'll look like when it's done, because I got one over here that I super glued to the because that's the finish I use. I super glued it to the mandrel.
What kind of finish did you say you put on it?
Let me see. Can't find there it is.
Beautiful. Oops.
I must have hit my volume. There we go.
Yeah, right there. Whoop, now we're up. You're making me dizzy.
Sorry.
That's pretty.
And here's another little piece of it.
Oh my goodness.
You could
But
make
I-
those into earrings, Daniel.
Yeah, I could.
Oh, there you go.
This is the little mandrel. In fact, I called Eddie a couple years ago, talked to him about this. And he told me, he says, well, why don't you just make a mandrel? So I did. And I made another one.
There you
And
go.
I just put a piece of wood in it. It's got a split down the center,
Mhm.
and just run something up just to expand it a little. But there's all kinds of things.
You say you finish yours with CA glue?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and a little 2-inch piece of cloth, or not cloth, towel, paper towel.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
One thing I will warn people about, and this is from when was in jury school. The ring size mandrels are not all necessarily exactly the same size. There are variations between it. My professor gave me a case that out in the front of the store, they measured the ring size and told him this is the size to do it. And he reset it to that size, and he wound up doing it about 3 times until he found out that his gauge and the one in the front of the store were not the same. So
That's good.
make
That's
sure that when you're sizing a ring, that you use the same mandrel and stuff to check it with. So-
Maybe it was metric, huh?
No, it wasn't metric. Some of these
Who knows?
some of the imported things and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff are not very accurate.
You know, if you haven't looked, if you look when we talk about ring sizers, you can find some on Amazon that are stainless or coated. That'll give you the tube with the lengths on it so you can measure somebody else's ring and get that size. And then it's got the rings on it so you can have them slip it on. When I was doing rings, a lot of rings, I would not do the sizing thing. If you gave me if you just said, oh, I want one this big and I can size it on my ring sizer. Well, the next thing I want to do is take that same thing and put the ring on you, the round part, and slip it on and say, you comfortable with that? Because it's, you know, who said that earlier? Your fingers size differently and act differently. What I like about the ones Dan was making with copper, they'd be like the ones in high school where it left a mark. I remember those. There you go. That's Rick.
Something like these. This is ring sizers here.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yep.
And then I've got this one for
Yep.
checking somebody else's ring.
Yep.
But it was cheap. It was on.
Does your ring sizing cylinder there, does it tapered cylinder, does it have a number 2 MT? Does it fit into your lathe?
No.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be. But they've got all kinds of stuff out there they want you to buy, but I'm not one to buy a bunch of junk.
I've got one or two of those ring mandrels with a little black wash and all that stuff. But I go right back to exactly what Dan had just now. I've got it, mine is split. And when I put the ring on it, I can just bring up my large point tailstock to it, put a little pressure on it, that'll expand it and hold it. I haven't had a problem with it getting away. And when you do the finish, here's a tip. Put a piece of wax paper under that ring before you put it on there.
Yep.
Finish the interior before you take it off the mantle, before you take it out of the thing.